Finally, one more thought. Michael Kinsley famously said that a gaffe is when a politician tells the truth, some obvious truth he isn't supposed to say. To reach the level of the true gaffe, it isn't enough that a politician puts himself in an embarrassing situation and can't quite climb out of it. That happens all the time. Just last week, President Biden mistakenly mistook Canada for China and got roundly criticized for it.
I applaud China for stepping up. I applaud Canada.
But let's be honest, we all knew what he meant.
Spell that again.
Nor is it really a gaffe when a leader simply forgets how to spell, as then Vice President Quayle did when he insisted a sixth grader at a spelling bee had to add an E onto the end of potato.
Add one little bit on the end. You write phonetically, what else? There you go.
And of course, we've all watched former President Trump reach to make a point and found that his reach may have exceeded his grasp, as when he praised the Continental Army of 1775 for seizing airports.
Our army manned the airports. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do. And at Fort McHenry, under the rocket's red glare, it had nothing but victory.
But none of these can be considered a true gaffe. None pointed at some basic truth that no one wanted to say. This week, we saw the results of a true gaffe in the banking world. When Credit Suisse was in the crosshairs earlier this month, Bloomberg's Manus Cranny asked the head of one of its major shareholders, the Saudi National Bank, whether it might double down on its investment. And his response was refreshingly clear and emphatic.
The answer is absolutely not, for many reasons. I'll cite the simplest reason, which is regulatory and statutory. We now own 9.8% of the bank. If we go above 10%, all kinds of new rules kick in, whether it be by our regulator or the European regulator or the Swiss regulator, and we're not inclined to get into a new regulatory regime.
But sadly, speaking the truth clearly and directly is not always a defense. This week, SNB Chairman Amar Abdul Wahed Al-Ghudari stepped down, reportedly for personal reasons.
But just in terms of credibility and communication and guidance, they felt they had to do this move. They didn't explain why they replaced him as chairman, but it goes without saying that much of the recent turmoil probably has something to do with it.
Score one for never answering a reporter's question directly.